Hi, this is Brian. Welcome back to another Heroic Plus One. This morning I woke up, put my Aura ring on the charger, and brushed my teeth. I worked about 13 plus hours yesterday and didn't shut down until 8 p.m., which is late for me, so I expected to see some paying the price data, but I was pleasantly surprised to see some bubble wrap data. And that's what we're going to talk about today, more specifically. I want to chat about the 3 protocols we're going to help you define and dominate in our new Heroic Elite training program, the Bubble Wrap Protocol, the Out in the Wild Protocol, and the Paying the Price Protocol. First, we have what I like to call the Bubble Wrap Protocol, where nearly every variable is nearly perfectly controlled and you can pretty much crush your equivalent of a masterpiece day. For example, when I'm in pure philosopher's mode and the team is running the biz and wifey is running the fam, I can pretty much execute a perfect day of 7 hours of deep work, 10 hours in bed, an hour of zone 2, an hour of meditation, etc. And my aura and sleep numbers reflect that. By the way, you want to know something Alexander and I laugh about all the time? The year we spent living in Bali before we had kids. Do you know how many massages we got in the first 6 months? 180. Yep, one a day. Our joke, you know what our skin looked like? Like we were 10 years old. That's the ultimate bubble wrap. Now, we could still be living in Bali or the equivalent of that. Do you know why we aren't? To be blunt, because that's not heroic. To adapt George Bernard Shaw's immortal quote, which we'll talk about tomorrow, I don't want to be saved, I want to be spent. Longer chat about my allergy to how some longevity gurus, including one with my name, overplay the radiant skin game and miss the fact that no one cares what your skin looks like or how long you live at the end of the day. Of course, we want to increase your lifespan and health span, but ultimately the question isn't about how young you look, it's about how useful you've been. It's about figuring out how we can get your energy to heroically elite levels so we can focus it on what's important now and you can show up most fully in your work and your love, period. Which leads us to the next 2 protocols, Out in the Wild and Paying the Price. Your Out in the Wild protocol is what you're going to live in the vast majority of the time. It's when things aren't perfectly bubble wrapped and life is happening in real time. We need to know how to flex our protocols and show up within the constraints of our reality. Note, one of the common comments in the intake form we had for Heroic Elite, thanks again, was how does a normal person with an 8 to 5 job and a family, etc., crush it? Well, we'll show you how. And then beyond the Out in the Wild protocol, where you do your best to architect masterpiece days within the challenges of your everyday life, there's another protocol. We call that Paying the Price. This is where you deliberately redline it a bit and do what you need to do to give your greatest gifts to the world. Now, I got goosebumps typing that as I thought of Alexandra sacrificing her sleep for the kids while I slept to do my best serving you. That's heroic. No one will ever know she didn't collect 1 million Instagram followers doing it, and that's heroic. Now, for me, for example, I'm in my pay the price mode when I say yes to flying out to the Red Sea to serve the 5,000 heroic warrior sailors on the Dwight D. Eisenhower. My sleep sucked on the red eye out, my aura readiness sucked, and that was perfect. I was more concerned about being of service than making sure my numbers or my skin looked good. Note, my typical cardiovascular age, according to Aura, is 9 years below my biological age. And that will go down to 7 or 7.5 in a week of paying the price living. In other words, I get older cardiovascular just a week of paying the price. Perfect. Then what do? I try to get back into as close to a bubble wrap recovery mode as I can when I get back and repay the sleep debt and repay the HRV debt, etc. Why? So I can do it all over again. That's what we think it means to be elite. We decide what we want and how we want to serve. We decide what price we're going to need to pay. Then we embrace the idiosyncratic constraints of our lives and get busy paying it. All day, every day, especially today. Little PS here, if you haven't learned more about Heroic Elite, check it out, heroic.us/elite. You can sign up and join us. We're kicking off class cohort 1 of Heroic Elite soon.